Welcome back to the channel, man. I am tickled to death you show back up. You'll have to overlook my puffy eyes. It is early in the morning, about 5 o'clock. I wanted to get an early, let me see if I can get this light out of your face. I wanted to get an early start on this. This is tedious work, so I wanted to get started on it before the sun is beating the crap out of me. We're going to be doing several things. I'm not really for sure what all we're going to get into, but I know wet sanding is going to be one of them. So I wanted to get an early start on that. If you're new to the channel, man, I appreciate you showing up. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. That way you are notified every time I release new content. I'm going to get you set up. We're going to get waist deep in this stuff. Welcome to this episode in the garage.
Show you what red hair means. I know you want me. Well, I want you to. What will you do? Love child, what will you do? Don't be shy, sugar. Look me in the eye, girl. What's your pleasure? Is it sleep like a leather? Come, baby, please.
See all of these pieces laying around the shop floor. Got some other stuff up there. I don't know how much of this we're going to get to in this video, because that is a ton of work. Also, because I'm an idiot, I forgot these two pieces that we worked so hard to get flat. So those still have to be painted and clear coated. Don't know if we'll get to that. I don't know. But we'll just have to see how this thing plays out. Right now, I'm going to get, you can see the parts here for all of our steering components. I got those cleaned up, sanded off, or sanded, and got them painted, completely rebuild them. And by rebuild, I mean paint. I'm joking, like kind of joking. I did rebuild the hydraulic cylinder. I do have a video on that. If you would like to see it, I will have it pinned in the description. So if you want to see how these cylinders are rebuilt, and like I said, I do have a video on that. So I'm going to get whatever piece I choose set up, get you set up, and we'll start the wet sanding process on these things.
say speak so freely, my friend. My friend, don't you think that we should too? Yeah. Well, I know, yes, I know that you want me to hold with a steady view, and I will, yes, I will, just as soon as you fly over me right up to Saturn's moon. Steady view, and I will, yes I will, just as soon as you fly over me right up to Saturn's
moon. So we got this thing sanded up to 1500, I believe is what it was. Yeah, 1500 grit. You got to make them look bad before they look good. You just got to trust the process. I've got a much more in-depth video on wet sanding and buffing, and I will link that in the description below if you want more in-depth. Not going to go back over in depth what I've already covered before. Gets monotonous. So what I'm going to do, I am going to finish these out 2,000 and 3,000 grit, and then I'll bring you back when we start the buffing process. So y'all hold tight, let me get these finished up, and see you in just a second. So we got this thing ready to buff. We got through making it ugly. Now it's time to make it pretty. As you can see, I am dressed for the occasion. We have been blessed with a overcast sky, perfect for buffing. So I'm gonna get you set up. I'm gonna get all our materials out, and of course, you know what is up. Good stuff. So I get you set up, and we'll get to transforming this thing into a piece of art. flux I use, this Sonax 6-4, and if you'll look at the red dots, you'll see what the 6 and the 4 stand for. Now that we got this thing buffed out, it is time to get some shine, some gloss. So for that, we'll be using the Sonax 4-6. So it's just the opposite of what I just showed you. So it's number 4 on the cut, number 6 on the gloss. Again, if you are interested in a much more in-depth explanation of my buffing and wet sanding process, I will have a link to a video in the description below, and it's a lot more informative, but I don't want to spend the time on this video going back through all of that information. So I'm going to get you set up, and we're going to see if we can bring this thing around to a beautiful gloss. There we go. One inner fender basically done. We do still have to undercoat all of that area there. We'll do this at a later time. But this part is done. And man, I think it turned out absolutely phenomenal. Yep. I reckon we can go ahead and maybe put the front steering components together, I guess. We can do that. All right, I'll get you set up. I've got to get the plastic off the front of this thing, and then we'll see about what it's going to take to put all this stuff back together. So we got some of our parts up here. Now, I'm not replacing any of the bushings right now. I'm just getting this thing put together and getting it hung up. And we will order a complete bushing set after we get this thing installed. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I'll have to figure this out later. But this thing has a slight, a slight this way. And I don't know whether it goes this way or whether it goes this way. So I'm just going to put it together, and then we will change it later if we have to. Something like yo. And then this bolt goes through here. Hammer time. Line it up time. Will help me to understand what is going on here. Just like so. All right. Like I said, I'm going to be pulling all this back apart, so I'm not worried about getting anything really tight. We want to just get this thing up and positioned and get all the parts where they're going to be. Then we'll order a complete bushing kit for this thing, inner and outer tie rods. Although for right now I'm going to reuse the inner and outers, but they will be replaced. So the first part we're going to put on is our I guess you call this the pitman arm, I guess. Just like so. You've got a washer. It's got a keyway built into it and a key slot on your stud down here. Oh. Now I want to keep reminding y'all that all of these bushings are going to be replaced. This is just to get it up and out of the way. Alright, let's go ahead and put our driver's side, or passenger side, inner and outer on. And we're just going to leave this dangling. The weight itself, we'll keep that in there. Now let's move over to our passenger side. And we'll go ahead and get this one in here. Just like so. Ouch. All right, now we want to go ahead and hang our tell you what, let me grab that bushing this on here. Just like so. We'll shove that in right there. All right. I need this and this. Just like that. All right, now the shaft from your cylinder. I need to put the washer on here. Goes in there. And this nut goes on there just like that. Now, we can put our tie rod in just like so. Our other tie rod will go in here. Just like so. And that is the install of these steering components. So now that all that stuff is installed, you can see that it's glaringly obvious why you have to have a special oil pan to put an LS in one of these things. Now, of course, there's different types of steering, but we're going to try our best to use this factory stuff. The only thing that I am concerned about is the steering gearbox, because that sucker, you know what I mean, it's all up in your face up here. Well, hold on a minute. No, I believe it comes up over here. I'm pretty sure it comes up over here. But anyway, that is temporarily installed, painted, and up out of the way. So, like I said earlier, don't beat me up in the comments. All of that is coming back apart, and all the bushings are going to be replaced, along with the inner and outer tie rods. I think that's the second time, maybe the third time I've said that. So we can wrap this thing up. You've got a arm down here, right? All right, that works your valve, and that actually goes through the bottom of that arm right there on your steering box. Boy, it's an ugly thing, ain't it? So now that our front steering components are temporarily installed, we have one more thing we need to do, and I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers who got me out of a jam. David, he got me out of a jam. He had pointed out several videos back, I have 3 or 4 videos, that while I was installing the dash trim, he pointed out that the dash insert is not supposed to have screws going down the bottom of it, which I did know that, but that's not the point. The point was, with that conversation went a little farther, and I asked him what these holes right here were for. And he said, probably a piece of weather strip. Well, David, you were correct. Weather strip. Who knew? So I appreciate that greatly. I appreciate all the comments. Man, you guys are awesome. You know, this is my very first 57 Belair. I have never worked on one before, so all of the help, even the criticism, all of it, I put every bit of it to use, and it's greatly appreciated. So keep it coming. I'm gonna get you set up, and we'll get these things installed. All right, so as you can tell, focus, these things are shaped the same on both sides, so I'm assuming it don't matter which one goes where. So let's get these things put in here. I didn't even know what these things were called, but they are called A-pillar weather stripping. So I was really unsure as to even how you go about looking them up. All right, let's see what it looks like.
I am looking out my window.
Looks pretty good to me. All right, we got some stuff done today. Look at us getting stuff done. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit your bell notification, turn your notifications on. That way you are notified every time I release new content. I believe that is everything I wanted to cover. Yep. Till next time, y'all go do some work.